Well, it's Monday after work, and I got about an hour of daylight, so I decided to go ahead and start working on it. And I want you to notice something here. This right here is kind of a, let me see if I can't focus better. Here we go. This, and don't worry about the little scratches, so we're going to take out those later. But see how kind of round and, I mean, it's not really sharp. And you come over here and you see this is really sharp. And that's on purpose, because when it's round, it's hard to gauge whether it's straight or not. But when it's sharp, it's fairly easy to gauge how straight it is. Let me see if I can't get it to focus here. See, when it's round, it's a little harder to see how straight it is, but when it's sharp, it's a little easier. It's hard to see here on this. There's not too bad there. It's a little easier that way to see if it's straight or not. And so that's why I do it that way. I mentioned it in the A-pillar videos, but I haven't posted those yet, and they'll be up after this. But I just want to show this to you, so when they do show up on the website or on my channel, you'll notice it. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and sand this down and see how it looks. Alright, I went ahead and did a quick cursory dust off on this, and you can definitely tell where the high spots are just by doing a quick cursory dust off. And they don't really look that bad. I mean, this is nice, and this is nice where you can barely see it through, then it's kind of high here. So more than likely what I'll do is I'll go ahead and sand it down some more. You can see this is definitely low. See how dark it is, and then how this is a pink's coming through, and then it's real bright here. And that's one of the ways you can find your highs and lows, is by putting some primer over it and then sanding the primer off and see where you still need work to do. And so I'm just going to keep block sanding this. And then of course you can always feel too with your hand like this. And I can definitely feel those highs and those lows right in here. And one right here, that's a big low right here. It's not big, but I mean it's bigger than I want. So I could probably sand that out. And this one, I can't even feel this one. I mean, I can feel the change to the metal, but I can't feel any raised up bumps or areas or anything. I can feel a low right here, so I'll probably end up putting some glazing putty in this one. So anyways, let me get the sand and some more on that and see what it looks like. Alright, I've gone through and I've used some 220 grit sandpaper on a block, and went ahead and sanded this, and you can see where the low spots are in the Bondo. And trust me, they are not very thick at all, because I'm starting to see a little bit of body filler even inside some of the darker areas where it's here, and up here too. So the transition is really, not too bad. And I think it's, see, I can't even feel that with my fingers, even going this way across here. So I know it's extremely close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep building up primer on this and sanding it down until everything is nice and smooth. When I think I've got it really close, then what I'll do is I'll make sure I've got enough primer built up on it, and I'll hit it with some 400 grit and some 500, maybe even 600, and then I'll spray some mist water on it, and I'll take a look down the panel like this, and I'll see how straight it really is, and if I see any areas that are concerned. There's actually one up here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Let me here. There it is. It's right here, this little raised area right there. I don't know if that's metal or if it's actually Bondo built up. So I'm gonna have to sand that all down and check it, or I'll have to build this up with primer so it's over here and here, and then sand this. If this is metal, I'll have to build it or tap it down and then refill it and do that. So we'll see. All the little micro scratches, those will all go away once I sand all this down again and replay with it, resand it and work on it some more. I've still got this area down here. This is really high right here. This is one of the welding areas right through here, and I can feel this is all bumpy. And this portion right here is actually supposed to go over and transition into the door, and and a little bit here, and it's not really doing that. So I'm beginning to think I'm going to have to fill this area right here from about here on down like this, and then blend it and check it with the door. So that's going to be one of my little problem areas I'm going to have to deal with. Other than this one still is a little high right here. I can definitely feel it with my hand going across here. There's a high and it drops. So I'm gonna have to, I can't build this up too much into that, because then I start to build this up and then the line starts to go back and forth like this, or it gets up or it goes down, and I don't need that. So what I have to do is actually lower this a little bit and then blend this in to the back over through here. Just gonna take a little bit of work to get it to flow correctly and transition properly. But this is pretty good in here. I can't even feel this with my hand running across it. I can feel a little bit in here when I go that, but I don't know if it's because of the texture change in here or not. I'm not quite sure. So I'll go ahead and put some primer back over it and resand it with some 220 and see what we get. And this is obviously still too high right here, because it just came right off. So I'm probably gonna end up tapping that down slightly. And as a matter of fact, I got my hammer right here. So, and I know sometimes on the video it looks like I'm hitting it like this, but I'm actually hitting it like that. But when you're here hitting it, sometimes it looks like it's hitting like that. It's not. So anyways, let me just go ahead and that's about all it really takes. It's just a little tap, and I can feel it. I put a little dimple in there, and that's what I wanted. So I'll put some filler in that. I'll sand this primer off of here. I'll put some filler in it, and then I'll go ahead and reflow it, and we'll see what we get. Probably should have only hit it once and then checked it. It's a little less than I wanted, but it's trust me, it's still maybe 2 sheets of paper, thickness of paper. I can feel that. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap this up for the night, and then we'll get on it again probably tomorrow, and we're just gonna keep working on it until it's done. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. Keep an eye out. Bye.